welcome back. This time is not wood turning, so sorry to anybody who might be interested, but this is trying to address and answer some of the questions I had about purchasing the Trend CRT Mark III router table. There's some information out there, but it's just a bit sketchy. I went ahead and bought one, but it's just trying to give a bit more information all in one place as to how to fit a router other than the T11 router, which is obviously supplied by Trend. So hopefully this helps somebody. I'll try and give as much relevant information as I can, but I'm always bound to miss something. So if there is anything else, leave a comment and I'll try and get back to you with this. This is my router table mounted on a rolling cabinet, which I made years and years ago, but obviously I had to adapt it. I'll just give you a quick rundown of it. I've added this as some kind of a nice storage, or hopefully storage, for everything that came with the router table: push stick, feather boards, overhead for the feather boards, and also different rings for the router plate. And then inside we have our nice big NVR switch. I have a T10 router, which is a nice router, and then there's the fence, or mighty gauge, sorry, my apologies. And in there, that is my router lift, which I will explain a little bit later as we go along. Right, so the tabletop itself is 2 foot, or just over 600 millimeters that way, and front to back is 16 inches or 405 millimeters. This stands, where are we? 15 inches or about 380 millimeters from the bench as a height. And I've got mine, I'm on, this cabinet is also on casters as well. This is about 930 millimeters or about 36 and a half. It's about a decent height for me. I'm about 5'8" tall, so yeah, it's without having to bend over too much at all. But the problem is that when you come to mount this in any particular position, because the legs splay out in both directions, you actually need a board to sit it on, which is, that's 720mm, which is just shy of 28.5 inches. And I've got a board that is, well, this one is what's that, 550 or 21 3/4 inches. There is a little bit of spare at the back, but not a great deal. I have fixed this physically and screwed it down to this so that it can't move, mainly because of this little lift that I have added, because as you were trying to raise this, if this wasn't fixed down to this, everything was moving, including, you know, the whole lot was moving. So I've actually screwed it down and fixed it down with some just some hex-headed bolts. I think they were M6, I think they were, if I remember right. I took the cushion feet off. They're a good idea, but they just don't work for what I wanted to do. If you were using a T11 router, with the tabletop lift, yeah, that would work. So the tabletop is about 25mm or inch thick. I think it's probably MDF, but it's a nice smooth top with a decent sized runner, table runner, with measurements on the side. These cheeks actually do move. Let's see if I can do it with one hand. They do move to any position you want. Odd sized dust extraction port again, like they all seem to do, and it slides. I can do it with one hand again, and it's nice big locking handles there, and if you wish to remove the fence altogether, you just slide it up and across. So that's all very nice. Go back, here we go. Now this is aluminium, anodized aluminium. There are 3 points there and there for the T10, and I would assume that that's also for the T11. That hole is there for the T11, which would be nice, but unfortunately I haven't got one. So, and then you've got the lead-on pin, which is also supplied in the kit. You've got alright, let's see if we can move this a bit further back. Wellish. There's 4. I can't show you all of them because the fence is in the way, but there's actually 4 screws there and underneath there as well, which actually screw this and aluminium plate down to the rebate in here. But then you've also got adjusting screws. I can show you there. There's there as well for actually adjusting this so it's flush with the top of the table. So it's a nicely made table. But then underneath, I'm hoping I can show you properly. Oh. But because the weight of the T11 and such, there's no way you're going to really lift it up without some help. There's lots of ideas out there. This is the one I settled with. This I bought, I'm not even sure what they advertise it on or as, but it's a little, if I turn that there like this, it's a bit slow. I think this actually is an M6 by 1 thread, so it's not going to raise super fast, but there's no real, you know, it does raise it and it does lower it. I've also put the router itself on a couple of plastic pieces there, so that this is the heat escaping from the motor itself. Once I've got it to, if I try and show you, once I've got it to a point where I want to lock it off, so that as it comes up, so once I get that set where I want it, I can then reach round to the back here, which anybody who's got a Trend will know. That's your lock lever there, and that's it. That sets it till you're ready, and it's nice and solid, don't go anywhere, and that's your lift there. I can't quite remember what these are advertised as. I'll have to try and have another look when I get a chance. Right, so to obviously lower, it's all just the reverse really, just take that lever and off. Right, on my little ratchet and do that, and you just lower it. Now, one word of warning, if you were to use this same sort of lift, not a warning, but whoops, is that I have this, I think this is about 70mm, so as long as it doesn't go below that, everything stays in place. These are all, with the weight of everything, it just, you know, right, so I leave it just a little bit short of that height, and then you can get to it, you can get to your, right, there's your lock for the collet and the spindle, and then just I can't do that obviously with one hand, but it locks in place. You've got your speed control at the front also. I bolted this piece of plywood to the side of the legs just so I'd got the featherboard and the rings, push stick and the top featherboard and safety deflector just out the way. They're within easy access. I try to keep this empty inside. Dust extraction is anybody who's got a router table will know, and with a router anyway, generally is or can be quite poor. This is no exception. Underneath is awful. I'm just not really sure how best to do anything with it, to be quite totally honest with you. I think sometimes it's better just to leave underneath somewhat empty and just hoover up afterwards and be done with it. Just live with the mess. Can't think of a better way around. If anybody can suggest anything, then as I'm sure you've already gathered, this is a hands and knees job to change the bit, and also to raise and lower the router, which is a bit of a pain, but I don't know how much you'd have to pay for something like that to do it all at the top of the table, on the top of the table. As to the manual, it needs reworking. They need somebody to actually build one and write the manual at the same time. Leo over at Handicraft has also done the same on the WRT model and come to exactly the same conclusion. Overall value for money, yeah, it's really good value. The only disappointing thing is obviously the router or table lift. For what you get and what you pay, it is a nice solid table. Doesn't look like it's going to wear out too quickly, and as long as you treat it properly, then yeah, it's well worth it. Fitting of the router's fairly simple. It with 3 screws there, like I explained earlier, you just line them up and screw them in. Hopefully you found this useful, informative, and a bit of a help, and maybe answering some of your questions or queries. Like I said earlier, if you have another question and I can answer it, leave a comment and I will do the best I can for you. Thanks for watching, take care, and I'll see you on the next one. Yeah.